But let's get to the my preseason Buckeye awards. And again, everybody, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. And now let's continue. So these are the awards I have for everybody. Okay, it's the Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Freshman of the Year, Offensive Lineman of the Year, Defensive Lineman of the Year, Position Group of the Year, and Coach of the Year. Now, if you disagree with me, let it go in the chat. If you see this later, let it go in the comments. But these are my awards. If you think different, that's okay. But I think I'm pretty much dead on these. So let's get started here. Offensive Player of the Year, none other than Jeremiah Smith. And yes, Rod, you are right. I keep forgetting his name. Yeah, I think Jeremiah is due for a big year. Really excited to see, of course, what he does this season. I think that he's gonna again continue to be the best player in college football as he was last year. My boy Johnny, see you later, man. What's going on? What would you say? Assume the position Buckeyes. Y'all know what time it is. No. We'll get there. We'll get there. Listen, Johnny. Don't get ahead of the show. I will let you know who the position group of the year will be when we get there. But but yeah. So Jeremiah Smith, I think, is in for a big season. I think that we're looking somewhere around 14. I would say 1,400 receiving yards. I think that he's gonna move more around the field. I think we're going to see him more in the slot this season. Also, I think that if you look back at when JSN had the injury that year, Ryan Day said that a third of the playbook was meant for JSN. I think we're looking for the same thing this season with Jeremiah, and I think that we're going to get the ball to him a lot this season. So, yes, Offensive Player of the Year, Jeremiah Smith. Now, Defensive Player of the Year, bold pick. Oh man, nope. I got Caleb Downs, man. I got Caleb Downs. And Rod says Sonny. And honestly, Rod, I'll be honest with you. When I went through this, I actually typed Sonny's name down first, but then I went with Sonny. With Caleb. And the reason is because I think Matt Patricia talked about him playing closer to the line of scrimmage this year, playing at the nickel. I think just like Jeremiah, he's gonna be moving around the field a lot more. I think that Caleb Downs is going to impact the game more. I think we're going to see him on blitzes more this season, coming from that nickel spot. We saw not Malik Harford, but oh my God, no, who am I thinking of? Oh, I blanked. Whatever. But I do think we're going to see him on blitz a little more this year. We're going to see him in the back, of course, at free safety, strong safety, moving toward again. I think Caleb Downs is going to be the most. Jeremiah Smith might be the best player in college. He is the best player in college football. I think Caleb Downs is going to be the most impactful. And that's because of everything that he can do on the defensive end, everything that he does when it comes to being the quarterback for Matt Patricia on the field, as Sonny Styles is going to be also. But I really, really believe that Caleb Downs is also the smartest player in college football. So, yeah, that's what I have. Again, so Offensive Player of the Year, Jeremiah Smith. Defensive Player of the Year, Caleb Downs. Now, I'm going to put this out there. I want to see what everybody thinks. Who do you think I have as most improved player this season? I really want to know what you guys think on this, because there was a lot of guys I thought we could pick from, but this one was actually very easy for me to answer. So I'll give some time for you all to go ahead and pick that. Until then, I'll go through some of these chats real quick. It said bold pick Rod. That's funny. Ross says, I think you'll see more teams try to avoid Caleb this year, along with Caleb being in the slot at times. And that's a fair point, Rod. But that's fair. That's fair. But I also do think that's also why he's going to be able to impact the game more. You won't know what coverage he's in at all times. You won't know if he's in cover 2 or man. You won't know if he's going to be slatted at safety or at the nickel. You don't know what Caleb Downs is going to be doing. But that is a fair point. I also think there's a chance that, by the way that Sonny blitzes, of course, second in sacks last season, he's a returning sack leader for the Ohio State Buckeyes this year. There's a fair point to be made for Sonny in this. I do agree with you on that. Rich says, I don't think our defense is bad enough to have any Heisman winners. Hey, Richie, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. That's funny, man. That's actually hilarious, but that's real talk. See, Kevin Chavez says that would be crazy. A true sophomore wide receiver win the Heisman, dude. That would, if that happened, I will come on here and tell you that Jeremiah Smith is the greatest college football player of all time. That's literally what I would do. Since Caleb being in the slot will cost him tackles, in my opinion, yeah, but he might get more interceptions because he's on wide receivers more. You get in that slot, you move around in that cover 2 area, that cover 3 area. Who knows? But yes, him in the slot though, like that would cost him. That would. Let's see. So Daniel says Kenyatta. Oh, and by the way, we're on most improved player of the year. Daniel Henry. Oh, first of all, what's going on, Daniel? Good to see you here, buddy. Says Kenyatta Jackson. Nope. Jam says Ennis or Sand. Nope. Daniel Henry says Richie will be the most improved buck hunter. Oh man. Let's see. IGB. Nope. Saravel. Nope. Jermaine. No. Everybody, most improved Buckeye I have this year is Will Smith Jr. Will Smith looks like as of right now he is slotted in the 2 deep. And I think that coming out of high school he was an undersized defensive tackle. But hold on, real quick, I just bruised over day 1 like that. Day 1, what's going on, man? Good to see you. But no, I think that coming out of high school he was an undersized defensive lineman, defensive tackle specifically. He actually was a defensive end at first, but then moved to defensive tackle. He's put on the weight. He's putting the size. From all intents and purposes, I mean, again, Luke Montgomery said that he had a really good spring, and then when you hear that from the team and from the players, and then coming into the fall, you have the players and the coaches now saying that he's been having a good fall, and now that he's made that jump into the 2 deep, whereas when Caden McDonald and Edric Houston are not on the field, they're saying the next guy is going to be Will Smith, not Tom Malone, not Jason Moore, Will Smith Jr., son of the late great Will Smith, national champion in 2002, and a Super Bowl champ for the Saints. But yeah, I think that we could expect a good year from Will Smith this year. I think that based on what he was coming out of high school, what he's been for the last few seasons at Ohio State, trying to work and become a really good player, I think that he's going to be the next guy up. Or not next guy, but I think he's going to be the most improved guy. And I really look forward to seeing that. And also, and maybe I'm just pulling on my heartstrings about this, but let's be honest here. What would be cooler than seeing Will Smith's son just be a guy for the Ohio State Buckeyes? I think that would be such a great story, and I would really enjoy to see that. I think everybody else would also. Okay, so again, most improved player this year, Will Smith Jr. Now, freshman of the year, I don't think anyone's gonna have I think we all know who we're gonna pick on here, and that's gonna be Devin Sanchez. I think Devin's gonna be one of those freshmen that are going to be impossible to keep off of the field. I think that he's going to be a freshman All-American this season. I think that at some point he will be a starter for the Ohio State Buckeyes, one way or the other. I do think they are going to rotate the DBs this year in corners, but I really believe that he's going to be a guy that's going to be on the field a lot. I think he's going to make a lot of plays this season, and I truly, truly, truly look forward to seeing him play. Next, offensive lineman of the year. I have Luke Montgomery. Luke Montgomery is one of the guys that I believe could possibly be an All-American this year. I think that, by the way, another Ohio guy, but Luke Montgomery, when you look at what he did in the back half of that season for the Ohio State Buckeyes last year. It's specifically in the playoffs when you go against Tennessee's defensive line, uh, Oregon's defensive line, and Texas' defensive line, which were arguably three of the best D lines in college football. Top 10 specifically. Yeah, exactly. 419, baby, right there from Jam. And I think Luke, when you see him do that, by the way, Luke's a monster, but he's a big man. And when you see what he's been able to do over the spring, going into the fall, the way the teammates talk about him, man, I really believe that he is going to have a big season. I think that he's going to got a lot of guys on their ass. I think he's going to put a lot of guys on their ass. And that's why I really can't wait to play Texas. Because, again, all those checks that guys like my boy Matthew Miller keep writing, and they got to hope they cash. I can't wait to see what your D-line does against our O-line, especially the defensive tackles that you guys have. All those run tackles you have out of the portal, you guys have to hope that they are what you want, that they are what you hope they are. Whereas for me and the rest of my fan base, we know what we have in the interior. So, yeah, again, I can't wait to see what it looks like. Again, Offensive Lineman of the Year for my preseason Buckeye Awards, Luke Montgomery. Defensive Lineman of the Year, I have Edric Houston. Now, it was tough to pick because of I think Kenyatta is going to be an extreme guy this season. I can't. I could have easily picked Kenyatta for this. Okay, I could have easily done that, but when I look at the depth questions that we have as a defensive tackle, and I look at Edric Houston being a true freshman last season and jumping everybody else in the defensive tackle room to be the first guy off the bench for our defensive tackles and being able to start 2 or 3 games it was last year as a true freshman, I think that Edric Houston's going to be a complete disruptor. Again, he's not a 300-pound guy, about 285 pounds, but long arms, which is a terrible mismatch for offensive guards. And I think that he's going to be able to deflect a lot of balls this season. I think you should look for him to get to the quarterback a lot and disrupt them. And also the cool part about Edric Houston is, and Katie McDonald, is that if you are able to get quarterback pressure from the middle, that makes the job a lot easier for your defensive ends. And quarterbacks will tell you all day long, they rather get rushed from the edge than up the middle, right? Well, that's in their face. So, yeah, Edric Houston, we look forward to see what he does this season. Edric Houston, my preseason defensive lineman of the year. Now, position group of the year. Now Johnny, of course, thought that it was going to be – clearly Johnny thought I was going to say wide receivers, but no. Offensive line is who I picked this year for this season as a position group of the year. I think this offensive line has a chance to win the Joe Moore Award. Again, the Joe Moore Award is a relatively new award, so Ohio State has not won it yet. But I do think that offensive line is going to be really great this year. I think there's a chance that this is Ryan Day's best offensive line that he's had. He's already said this is the deepest offensive line that he's had while being at Ohio State. Said that he said today, actually, there's 5 guys. Like he said, I'm confident in the 5 that we have that are interchangeable positions. And then he said there's 3 guys behind them that I know can go play just if need be. And so I'm really excited to see what this offensive line looks like this year. I think we're going to run through teams. And I think, and here I'll just tell you who the coach of the year I have right now, okay? Because I think these two go together. Coach of the year, I have Tyler Bowen, offensive line coach. Came in this year from Penn State, one of the better run game coordinators in college football. And I think that, with everybody, having some doubts about the Ohio State running back room, which I don't understand, because I would love for somebody to point out the last time Ohio State had a questionable running back room. But I think that with the talent that this offensive line has, with the depth that it has, and then when you look at Tyler Bowen being the coach that he is and being able to scheme up the run game, I think, man, that this offensive line is going to run through teams. And I think Tyler Bowen's also going to scheme around them to where they put them in the best positions. And then also, because I don't think Julian Sanders is going to get touched much this year. A, because of the offensive line just being really great. B, because he gets the ball out fast. I think that our running backs are going to average at least 5 yards per carry at the bottom. I actually have James Peoples averaging somewhere around the 6.3 range. I think that's just me. That's my hot take of the year for the team. But that James Peoples averages well over 6 yards a carry. But yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what this offensive line looks like. I can't wait to see what Tyler Bowen does with this room. Yeah, I see right here. Antonios. Yeah, Antonios. Says offensive line gonna need to show up that last game, no doubt, for sure. And listen, man, that goes without saying, guys. I mean, look, I don't think what's known doesn't have to be said. But at the end of the day, there are 11 other games that they still got to show up for first. And so, yeah, I really can't wait to see what this offensive line looks like. Wait. What day one? Please don't be 5-4 coming into the game this November. Wait, what do you mean 5-4? Oh, 5-4. Oh man. Hey Johnny, look, man. Listen, I know you don't like to hear this, but at the end of the day, yeah, you won. Yes, you guys won that game. Your team was still ass. They were ass. Like I saw somebody the other day said Michigan bows to no one in college football. That's not true. You bow to Washington, you damn sure bow to Indiana. Hey, fun fact, everybody: Indiana has beaten Michigan twice since 2020. True story, twice. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Johnny. I could never imagine losing to Indiana twice in 5 years. That is terrible. That is terrible. But no, that's that. So yeah, again, everybody, the preseason Buckeye Awards from Garrison. Offensive Player of the Year, Jeremiah Smith. Defensive Player of the Year, Caleb Downs. Most Improved, Will Smith Jr. Freshman of the Year, Devin Sanchez. Offensive Lineman of the Year, Luke Montgomery. Defensive Lineman of the Year, Edric Houston. Position Group of the Year, Offensive Line. And Coach of the Year, Tyler